Hello, hello. Thank you for joining me. Oh my goodness. We're back. We are back. We are on part 2 of the tapes, man. The tapes. The tapes in the murder of Judge Kevin Mullins. So, just as a quick recap here, Judge Kevin Mullins was shot to death on video by his friend, his co-worker, Sheriff Mickey Steins, a guy named Sean Mickey Steins, 43 years old. It was on camera in his courtroom or in his chambers. Just kind of show you this. It doesn't show the actual deed, but Judge Mullins was shot 8 times on camera in his chambers. Now, here's the crazy thing. There weren't always cameras in Judge Mullins' chambers. And the reason that we know this is because 2 women came forward and accused Sheriff Steins' deputy, a guy named Ben Fields, of SA and the R word that occurred in the judge's chambers. So they were in the Letcher. This all happened in Letcher County, Kentucky. They were in the Letcher County jail. They'd be let off on home release with a GPS ankle monitor. Deputy Fields was in charge of putting that on, and he would say, "Hey, you're purty, and hey, maybe we can work something out. Maybe we can help you out. Maybe you can help me out." One of those quid pro quo kind of things where he just wanted to do the sexy in the judge's chambers, these very chambers right here, because there were no cameras. Well, turns out a couple days before the shooting, Sheriff Steins was deposed in a civil matter where the 2 victims are alleging that Sheriff Steins knew about it, and they are alleging that Judge Mullins not only knew about it, but they had seen video on a VHS of him participating. So it is the most wild, most crazy case that we probably have covered so far here on my channel. So we're in part 2 now. There are going to be at least 5 parts. Okay? At least 5 parts. But when we left off 2 days ago after part 1, we had listened to about 58 minutes of the first recording. Now, you guys know, because you were here, that this recording doesn't have the best audio. It's really difficult. It kind of feels like there's a little digital recorder in the detective's pocket. And I've tried to bump up the audio a little bit, try to understand what's going on. I think that just the quality of the recording and the manner in which the interviewee, a woman named Sabrina Adkins, this is Ms. Adkins here, the way she speaks with her Kentucky accent, with her southern drawl, it's kind of hard to understand, but we're working together on this, right? You and I were working together on this. I have noticed that it's when the detective speaks or the lawyer speaks that I am able to understand it best. So understanding that there are, like, it's very difficult to understand what's going on, we are going to continue to listen to this. There is about 40 minutes left on this recording. Now, this one's a doozy, guys. This one's a big one, but yeah, we're gonna hunker down. I just noticed, thank you very much, Sandra. First time making it to the live. Yay, Gavin, love watching your perspective. Thank you very much, Sandra. I appreciate that super chat. Thank you very, very much. And if you put GF, I prioritize super chats and super stickers, but if you want me to see a comment that you're making in the live chat, just put GF, okay, in that in that comment. And of course, super chats I see. Thank you very much, Sandra. Okay. So we're going to come on over to this video right here. And there's no video. It's audio only, but we're going to have a listen. And I'm going to just check, make sure that you guys can hear it. But I've backed up about 20 seconds from where we left off. This interview occurred on February 8th of 2022. It was in the noisiest room that they could possibly find. The person who's being interviewed is Sabrina Adkins. She is being interviewed by Kentucky State Attorney General Detectives Matt Eastern, Shannon Blevins. Ms. Adkins has an attorney named Ned Pillersdorf. This is Mr. Pillersdorf. He is, don't discount him. Don't listen to his homespun kind of language and think this guy is not on top of things. This guy is a very, very good attorney by everything that I read about him. Very good attorney, somebody who does pro bono work a lot, somebody who works on behalf of animals. Guy's great. So don't be thinking that he doesn't have it going on. He does. All right. And then let's just go ahead and get on in.
Hiding still involved. I don't know. I don't know where.
Where does Patty work at?
I have no idea.
She's talking about.
She is also employed at the sheriff's office, so is she?
She's talking about, hey, Ben wasn't the only person that was in on this scheme. There was a woman named Patty that also kind of was involved.
I don't know.
Okay.
I never could actually figure it out because I think she said she was out of Ashland or something. I'm not sure. I did know she did say she was Ben's boss. She said, I'm his boss. That when I was out real late, and she called me the next day and asked me.
At this point, when I showed you that message, have you all had an encounter at the courthouse yet, or is this prior to everything?
I was just prior.
Okay.
That's basically when I first got started.
Tabitha, I already have to pause. Tabitha. Well, first of all, Sliva, we will be playing all the everything in this case. Okay. Everything that we have the opportunity to actually have our hands on. And then Tabitha, yes. Ben Fields, the deputy. Yeah. He's married. He has a wife. And guess what? She works at the jail that these women were incarcerated in. She's a corrections officer there. The relationships between everybody in this case is so incestuous, man.
Yeah, she said, I'm Ben's boss. You'll call him no more. You call me. That's what happened. And then she just drew. Well, he told me to call him.
Is this the only phone that you have?
No.
Do you have another one? Was this the only phone that you talked to him on?
What's happening is they're going through Facebook messages and her cell phone. He's going through the Facebook messages and everything. He's going through everything. Great comment, Heather. Brenda, glad you're here. Susan as well. Glad you're here.
Now, you said these messages, what I'm reading here on your Facebook Messenger, is prior to anything happening, right? Now, at this point in your all's communication, Do you feel pressured at this time, or are you thinking, no, this is a good guy still? Do you feel the pressure once you get into the courtroom when the sexual encounters occurred? Or actually, when did you start feeling that pressure, you said?
He would start making comments after we got in the courthouse. And I knew that the way in my mind, he's like, he would say, little things. And I didn't really feel pressured, but I knew what he wanted. You know what I mean? If that makes sense.
I understand that does make some sense, but I'm talking about, like, in these conversations here that you're having with him, what's your feelings at this point?
I had to do what this man said. No matter what, or I would end up in jail. My life was in his hands. He wasn't like a mean evil. You know what I mean? Like,
And thank you, Tabitha.
Explain that.
he was, I'm going to help you. Suck my dick, and it was just, I don't know, it was not like most men or rapists are mean and evil. He made you feel like he was helping you, even though, I don't know.
Hey, Jess, I am reading your comment, and yeah, no offense or anything taken. I've bumped the volume on this to -1 dB. It is as far as up as it'll go. The system audio that I have going is at 100%. This is just the way that the recording is. I'm sorry.
I guess I'm just crazy in the head, because that's what I feel. And everybody was talking about what the job in was, and I didn't hide my bracelet. I don't have a bracelet. Here it is in my hand, and nobody said anything. Everybody acted like that was normal, and that is not normal, and it would mess with my head so bad.
Thank you, Georgia.
Was there ever a time that the bracelet had power on it? You
At first.
At first it had power.
Yeah.
Do you remember when it stopped having power on it?
Around the 1st of August,
Okay.
when he took it off,
Okay.
because most time I didn't have it.
And that's the incident you talked about at the courthouse
Yeah.
on or about the 1st of August. And looking at the calendar, August fell on August 1st, 2021 fell on a Sunday. So perceivably, it's potentially the night before, Saturday.
It looks like I'm just about halfway through these messages.
I'm sorry.
Well, would it be all right? Could you do away with these phones for a day or two? Could I take them with me?
She's probably looking at her lawyer like,
Like I said, there's very few times since August that I've had a bracelet in my custody. It's like I was meeting you, but on the kid, take it off your belt.
You talk about carrying it around, did he have you keep it with you in case for what
He
reason?
told me, when all this was Stacey's told, he said, the judges want me to charge you with escape, I'm not going to. If you have the bracelet with you, they can't charge you, they can't convict you of escape. So that bracelet never left my side, there at the end. It went on me, but it ended in a purse.
And you didn't have the ability to attach it properly to yourself. Is that
oh, so she had.
I forgot, I was going to bring it, I forgot it. Yeah,
So I think what I caught there is that she had the bracelet on her, but it was like in her purse. Did I catch that? When she's talking about the bracelet, he hasn't actually attached it to her. She's carrying it around in her purse. Did I catch that right?
okay? You still got it?
Yeah.
Okay.
The
I didn't know
bracelet?
what to do. Yeah, I didn't know what to do with it. Was it you and I asked?
I don't want it.
I don't want it either.
I'd say that's your Ned's problem. Is that
I
bracelet?
didn't, yeah, I
That's
didn't
not
know.
mine.
It was there,
Sure.
I looked at bracelet and
I think it's the detective's phone vibrating.
the jailers were playing with it. And,
Who's the picture of the guy? Who's that?
That's my nephew that died.
Sorry to hear that. Oh, I just did something.
Hey, let me just address this real quick. Candy Cane is asking, why did he shoot the judge? We still don't know. The only thing that we've had that has happened here is the preliminary hearing. And I've watched the whole preliminary hearing. It's about 38 minutes long, I want to say. And the defense doesn't offer up anything that would indicate to me as far as, man, my chair likes to just like go down. I need to fix this chair. There's nothing in the preliminary hearing that would indicate to me why he did it. We just know that he had the deposition in the case. He called his daughter. He called his daughter from the judge's phone, and then he got up and shot him. So I think it might have something to do with the lawsuit and what was going on in the judge's chambers, but I don't know yet. That's a great question.
Just want to take some of these quick, just in case something happens to the phone.
Right. I don't know where you was at, but,
All right, I down there, wherever that picture of your nephew was.
Yeah, they did.
You're still like Rebecca. No, she should be going back.
So we're still, I'm not even near the end of the conversation. Okay.
This is a brand new chair.
And then just go.
So how, like, I'm not even near then at this point, right? Okay.
Okay, so
Let me,
Easter's like, he's still scrolling through the phone, reading these conversations. He's like, I'm not even near the end.
that's what I'm thinking. I've got some consent papers here. I'd like to take your phone. And then before you leave, we'll call our guy that does it to see when he could meet me, and I'll get it down there, get them downloaded, and then maybe can I meet you back here? Would that be convenient for you all? And then I can give you the phones back, and we'll see what time frame we're looking at here.
They'll do it the same day.
Yeah, it just when he's in office, I don't know if he's working his week or vacation or sick, you never know. But I'll check before you leave. So I'm going through these messages here, and that's all on Facebook.
That's on Facebook.
Do you have any text messages on this phone?
Yeah, but
Both that phone too?
Multiple phones. Somebody enlighten me. Why anybody has multiple
And you're
phones?
not gonna have a hardship if those two phones need to go for us to have those downloaded.
no, ask him if the guy, does he make a SIM card of it?
Yeah.
He does.
We'll
Don't have a SIM card in it.
what we'll do is I'll call him before you leave so we'll know everything, and then I get all the information we need for both of us, because he does that, I
You
don't.
gotta have a SIM card because it's stored on the phone anyway.
I don't know how stuff's stored. He may say that,
That's what I'm saying.
and I apologize. Obviously, I know it's going to be in.
Yeah, halfway it'll be on the actual phone, so it should be a factor.
We'll see what he says.
Right, exactly.
It may be an inconvenience, but if it's something that will help you, we probably need to do it.
Right, either way,
Because I don't know how you are, but
I wanna have somebody else.
That's how I feel, Zach.
you know, one wrong step out the door here and it lands on the concrete, and everything you've got here is now gone. So we want to try to preserve everything we can as quick as we
I get
can.
that. I really do.
Oh, that's a horrible thought,
So-
Candy King. It's all wrong.
What else? Is there anything else that you might want me to know about that he's asked you to do? Or?
I met him in Temple at Walmart.
Ben's uncle?
Yeah, I just ran into him. You know, being was with him. He introduced me.
What's Ben's uncle's name?
Bill Meade.
Bill Lee.
He introduced me, whatever, and we just, you know, that.
So, yeah, the whole multiple phones thing to me, I have multiple numbers. I have a local number here in Western Pennsylvania that I give out to people that I am just meeting. Let me give you an example. Elizabeth Jones from Hillbilly Crime. When I reached out to her using that number. It's a Google Voice number, and that way, they don't really have my cell phone. So I get that you want to divide your calls and stuff like that, but I don't have multiple phones. That's my question. It's like there are voice over IP, man. There's plenty of other stuff. You don't have to be using multiple phones. And so when somebody does have multiple phones, unless they have like, I don't know, a work phone and a personal phone, work assigns it, then it just feels weird to me. It feels weird, but maybe it's just me. Maybe I am just weird.
I met Bill's wife. They've been separated. She's my age. She was living with a friend of mine, Justin Lucas, that evidently in the future that he told me to stay away from. Katie and Justin, and kind of Justin, and found out that was, Bill's wife. They wasn't there long, and Bill had Justin put in jail. So he'd come by because Katie, couldn't send his wife's money, and he started calling me and stuff, and I said, he was perverted, he was gross perverted, he was perverted.
And this is Ben's uncle calling you.
And I said, Ben, your uncle's calling me. And I was really still.
Ben's uncle is calling her?
Talking about sex.
Yeah.
So,
Whoa. Ben's uncle is now calling her. Okay.
Yeah. And
Doing the sexy talk.
Yeah. He said, I hate to have to miss your charges up. It's okay. So I was still paying for the bracelet. It was early because we gave me a paper bracelet to help pay for the bracelet. I mean, he called and said, I kill me out. I said, please, and everybody, Bill Major can help with the charges. Senior people with these charges. Senior just was, please.
What's Bill Meade do for a living?
Yeah, it doesn't seem like the case.
He's a firefighter. That's all I know. Everybody knew him and he was big in the community. I don't know really a lot about him. Because he was one of the first perverts, and
Yeah, I remember talking to Elizabeth about him a little bit. Oh my goodness. You guys, if you want the skinny on, you want the locals' view of this, you got to go to Hillbilly Crime.
he'll be easy to help me with my charges.
Okay, hold on with this comment. Okay? I think that the context is kind of bad here. Okay, the reason that Detectives Easter and Blevins are there is because Sabrina asked them to come through her lawyer. She had allegations that she made. She contacted an attorney. She had civil rights violations. She alleges that she had civil rights violations while she was in the Letcher County Jail. And so they made the allegations, and then the AG's office came to talk to them. So they're asking a lot of her, and Woman of Steel, yeah, it's awful. She has to be dragged through all of this. She has to say everything. She has to tell everything, and that really, really sucks. But if she doesn't, they can't ultimately get Ben Fields. And remember that he was convicted based on these allegations. He was convicted of SA, sodomy and of the R word, right? So this woman, and I only put her picture up because she's already out there. She's a public figure at this point. This is a brave person. This is somebody doing something extremely brave in a little corner of Kentucky. And this is true in every state in the nation, by the way, but especially when you get into these little rural areas where you got a good old boys network in there. The good old boys include the judge, the sheriff, the sheriff's deputy, the court clerk, the all the people that have power, and they're usually men. They've got, so it's her against this good old boys network, and if she does go against them, man, she is going to pay the price. But I mean, she'll get harassed, she'll get bullied, there'll be threats, there'll be all sorts of stuff. So this woman is being super brave. They're not using her to get as much out of her as they can. They are trying to get out of her as much as they can in order to bring charges, which they ultimately do. Now, ultimately, he pleads guilty, and he gets sentenced to 6 months in jail, in the very jail where his wife works as a corrections officer in the basement of this building, the courthouse. I have an outside picture of it, right? So in the basement is the jail. So, I mean, he got a cush sentence. I think it was 6 months plus 5 years probation plus 2 years unsupervised probation. It's cushy for sure. But without the audio that we are listening to right here, they wouldn't have been able to get him. And so I while Women of Steel, I respectfully disagree with the second sentence that you've given us there. This is awful. It's horrible. But they're not using her. They're trying. She asked for this, and that really sounds bad. But she brought the lawsuit. She brought the allegations. And so I think, and I disagree a little bit with Elizabeth Jones on this. I personally feel that these investigators are taking it very seriously, and they're asking follow-up questions, and he is going through all the Facebook messages, and he's not taking his time, and he is taking his time. He's not rushed. I think he's doing a really good job. So, yeah, that is my take on your comment. Respectfully, thank you, Woman of Steel.
I think other people, Jordan, I can look back to the jail before Allen County.
No, he's just the district judge. Not yet, Jess. I'm trying to get that together.
So I made it 6 weeks for Monday. It's pretty happy. I won't talk to the judge. I'll talk to the judge. You're not to worry about.
So you had sex with him for money? Is that what you said?
Yeah, he gave me money.
He gave you money.
I told her, he didn't say I always look at balls. You know what I mean? He said, I know you ain't got nobody. I'll give you this money.
Did he tell you that he would help you out with your charges too, or just money?
Yeah, there's a judge. And I seemed like, his wife and some other women.
Do you have any conversations that him and or you and Bill had together?
No, he texts. He texts. Yeah.
So all those conversations were voice conversations. You had nothing on your phones that to have any kind of conversation between you and Bill.
And this line of questioning where he's like, do you have any text conversations between you and Bill? That's not him trying to tell her that she has nothing. That's him going, I'm trying to find the evidence. I'm trying to find the proof. Do you have any texts? Do you have anything other than those conversations? And by the way, predators will purposefully have conversations so that there isn't a trail. And if I can be real on this, I won't mention any names, but I am kind of like on the sideline of this major case that's happening here in the United States. And one of the attorneys in this case, he told me, he's like, you need to stop texting me. I will answer the phone. Give me a call. I don't represent you. Therefore, nothing we say is attorney-client privilege. So we should talk. You should not text, right? So that's somebody who's thinking those things through. This is the same kind of thing. It is a predator. It is a criminal who is going, I can't put this down on text. We have to have conversations.
I didn't go to Walmart. There, I arrested. He said,
You have a copy of the MoneyGram, or?
I must have the number. Oh, I did call you. I was over here with Fruit Tea. And,
Oh, Woman of Steel, I misunderstood you. I apologize. It's the criminals that were using her. I am so sorry about that. Everything that I said, I stand by, but not directed at you. I apologize for that. Sorry.
Tape stuff.
he was on your voice message. And I was like,
How many occasions did you and Bill have sex?
Thank you, Harley.
we need to all say,
Bill is the uncle.
3 times and actually said,
How much did you charge?
we just give me money afterwards, you know what I mean?
Okay, how
I
much
mean,
money?
it wasn't like I didn't charge him anything.
How much money did you get each time? Or was it different for oil versus regular sex?
He would say, I'll help you out, and he would say that's money. You know, it could be $100, it could be $75. He would take right
So somewhere between 75 and 100?
you know.
How many times was the 100? How many hundreds did you get?
These are hard questions to ask.
He said, I talked to him, well, everything's gonna be all right, but we'll get you worked out. I'm like, well,
Certainly hard to answer.
how come I've not seen anything yet, you know? And I say, he ended up, I think, I said, it's gonna help me out, have you heard anything? Don't worry. Bill says he'll help you.
Is it your opinion that Ben had told his uncle what had happened between you all?
It appears so, maybe.
What makes you think that?
Because I brought it up to him and I said, hey, Bill called me, Bill got my number. Bill called me, said that he held me on charges. He said, you know,
Did Bill tell you how you got your number?
That's a good question. How did Bill get her number?
So your and Bill's relationship, was that after you and Ben met in the courthouse or prior?
he was out, you know, he was serving it like, I don't know,
All at the same time?
This is Ben. This is Deputy Ben Fields right here.
there's no arrested. The emergencies.
And what's that on?
The voice,
That's a voicemail?
yeah.
I couldn't tell what that voicemail
of him
said.
saying, did you get the money?
Oh,
Same night.
So what company do you use? MoneyGram instead of just give you cash, other times in cash?
Yeah, I was in Pike County. And
Okay.
then everybody made it to the county, so he was giving $50 to come to us, come to him.
So one time MoneyGram, $50, you picked it up in Pikeville at the Walmart.
Well, yeah, I didn't think it back or our jail, but yeah.
Yeah.
If there were MoneyGrams, then there's a paper trail. This is, if there were MoneyGrams that were being used to pay, the Ms. Atkins for sex, then there will be a trail. Especially if it was done in Walmart. They notoriously do not delete their security stuff. It's I wonder if anything's happening to Bill. I had to check with Elizabeth on that.
And you think you have a copy of that MoneyGram somewhere?
Yeah, well, that's it. I have a number, hopefully, I'll send it to you more.
Any more messages from him?
Yeah, and we're going to get to that interview, Karen.
After looking at all the messages on Facebook, is there more conversation on Facebook Messenger versus text Messenger between you and Ben?
Yeah, I didn't realize there was that much.
So there's more there on Facebook than there is text messages.
Yeah.
Is the text messages?
No, Marcia, he is a free man. He is on probation now. Great question.
Prior to the relationship or after or on text? Or was it during that period too?
It was during that period.
So sometimes it'd be messenger and sometimes it'd be text.
You know, I thought it was mainly text apparently.
And a lot of conversations on messenger.
You know, I didn't realize there was that many. I really didn't.
You sent, your attorney sent me messages, copies of messages. Is that everything that, obviously these are everything that you sent her?
I don't know, like, I got this one today. And I just thought I could put it out. I don't think she got that.
Well, I've done.
It does
something
show.
today.
I know.
It does show a level of chutzpah that Ben Fields had, that he would do Facebook Messenger and leave this giant trail. He must have just felt like he was invincible, like there was nothing she could do. And probably he felt that way because for years the same thing had been happening and they'd continued to get away with it.
I'm not real good with that. If I made it myself, I just got it.
I'm not a Facebook person, so I touched something and don't know how to get back. That's all we're gonna call it. So this is you and that's him.
Mm-hmm.
I read this. This is about where you're talking about the razor, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
All right.
I've got that
I don't,
part
okay, there you go.
So everything that you sent your civil attorney, is that everything that you have or is there more?
Okay, real quick. The great question, Woman of Steel. This lady has not passed away. There are two litigants here. They are Sabrina Adkins and Jennifer Hill. They're the plaintiffs in this case that against Ben Fields. So he was criminally convicted, and then they threw Mr. What's his name? Pillersdorf have sued Ben Fields, the company that did the electronic monitoring, and Mickey Steins, And then they have other defendants as well, including Pam, I think, that is named in this. Anyway, so the plaintiffs are Sabrina Atkins, who is the woman that we're listening to right now, and Jennifer Hill. Jennifer Hill had the same thing happen to her. She has passed away. It is now her estate that is continuing the lawsuit. That's how that works out. It's, man, it's sad all the way around.
And I'm assuming she is, and I want you to look through this, what she sent me, that way you'll be able to know.
Yeah, I'm not going to know more. I'm not sure. I don't know what's in there. All this is happened so fast, you know, I was so overwhelmed and didn't know what to do, you know. And I remember Bethany. I called her, you know, the bill was awful. And that's all I did.
What do you think should happen to somebody that does something like this? Like Ben? What do you think that should happen to?
She definitely should never be allowed to be a house arrest or work for, you know, he's the worst kind, you know. His uncle's pervert right there. But
So his question was, what do you think should happen to somebody who does something like this? And she's just like, well, he really shouldn't be the ankle monitor guy anymore. That's what I heard.
made it seem like he was helping him. And he wouldn't. He wasn't that he would escape. You know, I mean, women have faced escape charges in the past because of him. And I just got lucky. I got very lucky. That I reached out because everybody was acting like everything was normal, and that's not normal. You know? He's a monster. You know? Because he hid it, you know, and I was helping him. I believed him. I thought he was for the drug addict. I don't know.
Chantel, this is a great question. Ben also got away with taking the judge out too. Do we know what happened to Jennifer, how she passed? I don't know about the first part of what you're saying, but the question, I don't know how she passed away. I talked with Elizabeth Jones from Hillbilly Crime about this, and she doesn't know either. There's no indication as to how it happened locally, but we suspect it was probably drug related. It was an overdose of some sort. Ms. Hill and Ms. Atkins have a long history. There are mug shots going back years and years and years, and you can see the changes in their face and in, you know, everything about them. I don't want to assume, but I suspect that it may have been drug related, like she overdosed or something like that. And that is one of the, I mean, that's one of the reasons why this case is so infuriating to me, is because the victims, they're extremely vulnerable. That's the way it was put by a commenter earlier. They're extremely vulnerable. They're easily manipulated. They have been in and out of jail. They know what the jail experience is. They don't want to experience it again, but it seems like anything that they do lands them back in jail. And they've got this demon that they are trying to beat off, and most of the time they're unsuccessful. It's very difficult, right? So, I mean, that's what makes it pretty egregious. There are a lot of cases that we cover here on the site that are egregious because the victim is innocent. We've gone over Maddie Soto quite a bit, Jocelyn Nungari. You know, these are people that are innocent, but the quote unquote non-innocents, like Ms. Hill, they are particularly vulnerable for different reasons, and that's what makes it egregious. And I'll stop babbling.
And we're just going to look at him and say, no, why'd you do that? How could you even go home and sleep? You know?
Is there anything else that you think I need to know about this situation or any meetings?
All I can think of, you know, everybody do it. Hey, come see, she got arrested up here. What are they doing up there? You know, it was, I don't know. Everybody acted like it was normal. That's what bothers me the most.
We'll go back over this again. It looks like when Ben called you and then you approached or discussed about his Uncle Bill, he said Bill can help you out with the charges. Did he ever say, if you'll have sex with Bill, he'll take care of your charges? Did he say anything like that? He didn't say anything like that. He just said he can help you with your charges. Okay. At any point during your and Bill's relationships, and I'm saying relationships by meaning your oral and intercourse sex, were you ever physically held down or physically, not able to leave? Or was that a consensual thing like your and Ben's was at the courthouse?
Don't take this question that he is asking the wrong way. He understands that there's no consent here that can be given with that power imbalance. He's just trying to figure out if he can up the charges, right? He's trying to find ways to make the charges more serious. That's what I think.
Yeah.
It was consensual.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're purple people over there.
I understand that. I'm just trying to get, the details.
Right. Like they didn't know anything, It was an understanding,
And when you say understanding, was that a understanding that you all discussed, or was that an understanding that you had in your mind that that's the way it...
Me and Bill, we just asked it. He was understanding.
Did Bill ever tell you, if you'll have sex with me, I'll get you out of the charges?
Absolutely.
Bill did, but not Ben.
Bill said that.
Going
Absolutely.
back to your and Ben's relationships within the courthouse, was anybody around outside the courthouse? Was anybody that you can remember seeing?
Right. Yeah, there was a lady there once. He told me, he said the door was unlocked. He said, go on, get there for him.
Yeah, he's using the wrong word. It is legally not consensual. There's what he's trying to establish is that she was also held prisoner. So that could add kidnapping charges. It could add other charges that I'm not aware of in Kentucky, right? So he's using the word consensual, but legally speaking, he knows, and you and I know, it was not consensual. That is why Mr. Fields was convicted. It was not consensual. It was definitely SA. It was definitely the R word. He's just trying to understand. I mean, could you have said stop at any moment and left the room? And if so, then it's probably going to be a lesser charge. He's trying to find new charges, I think.
He said the door's unlocked. He said going in. When I got there, the door was locked. So there was some woman come out. I called him and said, hey, the door's locked. He said, okay. I said, well, we'll run up to Ice and holler at him. I don't know what later. He said, something that you're in once.
When you made reference to the judge's chambers, describe where these events happen. Is this an office area? Is this a...
You walk in, it's your first left, and there's a big desk. You walk in like this, and there's like a big desk right there. There's a bathroom right here.
She's describing the room.
No windows, you can see outside.
Okay. What made you think it was the judge's chambers?
He said it was.
Okay.
Can you describe what the insides look like?
Okay, we're going to listen to this carefully, guys. But yeah, they need to be able to prove to themselves and eventually to a prosecutor that she is not full of it, that she is not lying here, right? So, okay, how did you know it was the judge's chambers? He said it was. Okay, describe the judge's chambers, right? And she had described all the area outside of it. Let's describe the judge's chambers. Let's establish that you have indeed been in there.
The big wood, big wood desk,
There's a big quilt hung behind his desk. Look at that. Describe the judge's chambers. Well, there's a big quilt hung behind his desk. Remember, there were no cameras in there at this point when she was talking in February of 2022. I'm going to go back just a few seconds. Let's listen to that one more time. Let me go back about 15, 20 seconds here.
okay, you should have to face. And then we're just going to look at him and say, you know, why'd you do that? How could he even go home and sleep? You know?
Is there anything else that you think I need to know about this situation or any meetings?
No. Should be good, Jen.
All I can think of, you know, everybody do it. Hey, come see, she got arrested up here. What are they doing up there? You know, it was, I don't know. Everybody acted like it was going on. That's what bothers me most.
We'll go back over this again. It looks like
Everybody acted like it was normal.
when Ben called you and then you approached or discussed about his uncle Bill, he said Bill can help you out with the charges. Did he ever say
I went
if
way
you'll
too
have
far
sex
back.
with
Sorry, guys.
Bill, he'll take care of your charges? Did he say anything like that? He didn't say anything like that. He just said he can help you with your charges.
Okay.
At any point during your and Bill's relationships, and I'm saying relationships by meaning your oral and intercourse sex, were you ever physically held down or physically, not
I
able
went
to
back
leave?
a little too far, but we're
or
going to stick
was
with
that
it.
a consensual thing like your and Ben's was at the courthouse?
Yeah.
It was consensual.
Yeah.
Okay.
There were purple people over there.
I
Go against them.
I understand that. I'm just trying to get, the details.
Right. Like they didn't know anything, you know. It was an understanding, you know.
And when you say understanding, was that a understanding that you all discussed, or was that an understanding that you had in your mind that that's the way it...
Me and Bill, yeah, we just asked it. He was understanding.
Did Bill ever tell you, if you'll have sex with me, I'll get you out of the charges?
Absolutely.
Bill did,
Yes.
but not Ben. Okay. Going back to your and Ben's relationships within the courthouse, was anybody around outside the courthouse? Was anybody that you can remember seeing?
Right. Yeah, there was a lady there once. He told me, he said the door was unlocked. He said, go on, so I was get there for him.
There was a lady
the door was
there.
unlocked. He said, go on in. When I got there, the door was locked. So I called, there was some woman come out. I called him and said, hey, the door's locked. He said, okay. I said, well, I'm going up to Ice and holler at him. I don't know what later. He said, something that you're in once.
When you made reference to the judge's chambers, describe where these events happened. Is this an office area? Is this a...
You walk in, it's your first left, and there's a big desk. You walk in like this, and there's like a big desk right there. There's a bathroom right here. And it's, windows you can see outside.
Okay. What made you think it was the judge's chambers?
He said it was.
Okay.
Can you describe what the insides look like?
It's a big wood, big wood desk. You go through like two doors to go into there.
So you were in the actual courtroom of the courthouse where you would be as a defendant.
No.
Is that okay? How do you go in? From the outside in?
Okay, you go in, and there's the very first door on your left.
So you go through the main doors to the courthouse.
And the very first left, and you go in, and it's got a big old desk like this. There's a bathroom right on the left, and windows, and we'll seal that you guys actually sit down in the window, you know what I mean? I don't remember that. That's
And what judge's chambers do you believe that to be?
Judge Mullins.
And I said, is there cameras in here? And he said, no, and I still didn't believe it. You know, I was like, why is there not? You know, to me, there were big cameras in the judge's chambers. And when he grabbed me, you know, not like when I say grab me, like, I don't know, he grabbed me. Not having me, but just trying to kiss ball, started kissing me. And he said, I don't remember what he said. I don't remember what he said. We'd say from the little bathroom. He grabbed my hand and just go back in there.
Can you, these are some of the same things I saw on Facebook. I'm assuming if it's got the B, that means Facebook, right? Or is that text?
Just text me.
So all these are going to be text.
Yeah, because I didn't get one out of at least right now, so on Facebook.
Well, I'm assuming that's Facebook.
Yeah.
So you gave her those, because that's who I got this from.
Yeah.
Okay, out of all the text messages that you sent her, is this all that you have?
Can I see it?
Yeah.
Yes. He has a cigarette in
And the
his
reason
hand.
I'm just doubling up here is we're going to take your phone, we're going to get all this stuff, but I want to make sure we have everything. Once I see it, I can say, no, she said that's everything, so we've got, the phone's working.
The whole smoking thing, guys. Like, yeah, he was smoking. I was talking with Elizabeth from Hillbilly Crime when I had her on a couple days ago. Yeah, there at this point there was still smoking in the courthouse. It was completely fine to smoke in the courthouse, and there was a smoking room just outside the judge's chambers. So yeah, this is very different for most of us who live outside of that area. But yeah, they're smoking. They're smoking inside the courthouse. That's what they're doing.
There's more? Okay. A lot more.
Yeah, and there's some on
Now, I'm assuming you sent those because these are the ones you thought were pertinent to your
yeah,
case.
I was just.
So a lot of the other text messages on the phone, it may just be conversations y'all had, but nothing.
Right.
Okay. What I'm going to do is, I want you to read this, and this is more of a consent to look into your phone, but this is more of an issue as if I was investigating you for something. But our office still requires this. So don't get hooked up in the words, because it talks about, your rights not to have the phone searched for a search warrant, stuff like that. Yeah, this is, you're already nervous, so I wanted to explain that. You read this, you're going to get more nervous probably. But this is still a standard procedure we have in our office, that you have to give us consent to be able to look at your phone. It's just typical what we do. If you can just read over this, and we'll get these signed. Does this, more sorry.
Benny, I don't know if you know this. I'm a Sacramento kid. I grew up in Orangevale. My wife grew up in Carmichael. And yeah, it was actually Kimberly and I were dating when they took smoking sections away from restaurants and stuff like that. But I'm sitting here going, so that wasn't all that long ago, but we've been married 25 years, so it's been a while.
Is this where it says, is that where we're starting? This is a message.
That's right.
Yeah.
Tell me where you want me to go back to. I touched it and it went flying. Get me where you want me to be.
There.
Starting at the U.
Yeah, I didn't know if you had read that one or not.
I've read, if you gave it to her, I've read.
I don't think I gave it.
Okay.
I don't know what, I don't remember. Listen, everything happened at arrest. And it, I call her, then I'm getting arrested, and, it was, I didn't know what to do. My mind is still in a whirlwind.
So you're wanting me to read where he's telling you that you can tell them that you're on house arrest and that you're coming and check in with me today to be served with it. And you probably can't do anything about your stuff until it comes to court.
Because he told me that, I had the Pike County, Sheriff's Department look for me. And I said, okay. I said, because Pike County would scare me. And he was, I don't know why he told me to say that. And he told me to say that too. Because I was on COVID restriction, and he knew that. And I was actually papering and everything, the hospital. Just called, just Tommy May called.
We don't know how long it's been.
I'm still because that
Last time I was down here, it's been 5 months ago.
Just read that form. If you've got any questions, ask me. Like I said, it's more of a form if I was, looking into something that.
Yeah, this is a hard thing because you don't. It's scary to get.
A lot of phone exams are child pornography, etc.
And like I said, they just require this.
I know.
We don't do the phone exams,
Sorry.
so we have to give it to other detectives, and this is what their office requires.
I'm just.
And then
You got an attorney that's upside,
I
so.
know.
well,
And I'm sorry if I'm being.
here's the thing.
He's just trying to get her to sign a waiver that allows them to search her phone. And I would be worried about that too.
Told your attorney, at this point, we're not concerned about your pending charges with you and Ned. That's your and Ned's problem, not mine.
Right.
If I see something on here, obviously, if I see you've killed 10 people, you and Ned's got problems.
Right.
And I got a feeling Ned's gonna say you got problems. But,
I just don't want you to end up missing or dead.
well, let me explain this. This goes to our office in Frankfurt, your phones. They download it in Frankfurt. It goes to our file. Then I bring your phones back to you, and that's the end of it. Nobody has these records. It's an open investigation right now, so nobody can have these records. And we don't share them with anybody. Like I said, we're here to prove facts.
Right.
I don't care at our office. Our office doesn't care if you're the Pope or you're a drug user. You're treated the same. And that's how it's going to be. As far as when we're looking at stuff,
Yeah, they could do that.
Y'all do
Someday.
that extremely nice.
you're no different than anybody else does. And if the Pope, here's a copy, Ned, if you just want to look at it.
Y'all
You're,
have been extremely nice,
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
yeah, nothing's any different. We want you to be honest with us and truthful, and we'll do the same for you. That's all we have to do.
Probably not east of 75, I know for a fact, other than maybe one FBI agent out of Covington. There's not
That's Pillar's Dorf
anybody
talking
who
there.
has interviewed, interrogated police officers
I think
for
that's right.
misconduct or wrongdoing more than these two people that sit with you right now. This is something that we do,
And that's,
part of our job.
Oh no, maybe that is
So
Blevins.
this isn't our first time to have a police officer suspect, this ain't a brotherhood thing or this and that. I've looked officers in the face and promised them that, maybe I can't charge you, but I'll see that you lose your certification. I've called BS on cops in the face. He's been with me for some of those interviews. We've presented to grand juries cases. They don't always work out because unfortunately there's not always a second witness, which, that's the world we live in.
And this,
Videos and second
is an
party
iPhone?
witnesses.
I would read your titles since '94, you should see a place in a professional, almost every county, that's how we get involved in here.
is that a case or that's actual code? Okay.
That's kind of fun. Just keep everybody and everybody and
All right, if you could, just sign your name. You read this? You understand it? Okay. Now, what we'll have to do is, you're gonna have to, obviously, I'll ask you about the SIM cards, that way we can see, but if you can, I'll have to have some kind of number to call and say, hey, meet me up there. And sign here,
I mean, here can see that's fine, I'll get,
And then
something else.
date it right there. And date it. Well, obviously, I have to have some conversations. I wanna get these back to you. If he can meet me tomorrow, I'll meet him tomorrow, and then try to get them back to you Thursday. We can have a pretty quick turnaround. Hey. Being her attorney, do you want to be the witness on that?
I'll be ready.
Now that's for the red phone.
Yes, and there's passcodes on top of it too.
Well, we'll,
You play football?
I did not. That's too much need to.
is the other one an iPhone too?
You know, I
No.
was a baseball guy.
Lee County does not have a football team.
Yeah, and same problem with me when I grew up. I grew up in Dillon County.
Oh, now they're just
Huh?
chit-chatting about whatever. Now that she's signed that paper, the interview is done.
That's ankle and knee issues kept me out of basketball for the most part. So I went the other route and played with the pet band. I was a drummer. So.
You knew David Blair.
Yeah, that's probably a good place to stop it. Hang on a second.
I worked in EMS.
That's an iPhone too.
He ran unsuccessfully. He controls.
Holy cow. Everybody talk at the same time. I'm going to pull that back. Guys, that because what have we got? We've just got 55 seconds left. That's just them chit-chatting at the end. A couple more comments. Let's see. Jess. Thank you very much, Jess. Where am I going? Gesundheit. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Betty, Gavin, I love your show. I don't know if you're aware that the prosecuting attorney, I do believe, is Judge Mullen's brother-in-law or ex-brother. Well, of course. Oh, my goodness. Well, of course he is. In small towns, when there are one judge and one prosecutor, I think they can get away with a lot more than bigger city. Everyone knows everyone, so law enforcement knows who to keep a bracelet on. That part of it is actually really infuriating because the citizens keep voting them in. This judge is an elected position, and sheriff is an elected position, and district attorney is an elected position, but they keep on getting in even if they're doing corrupt things. Either the electorate is not informed or they don't care. I don't know. Maybe there are a couple of other reasons, but it sure is infuriating. Hey, I've been flashing this up throughout. If you guys know about me a little bit, you know that I have my website, which is gavinfish.com, and I also have CrimeCod. You can get to CrimeCod from gavinfish.com. It is a true crime website, has lots of headlines, few new headlines every single day. They also come over to my website, so you can click on those. If you just go to gavinfish.com, that will take you to CrimeCod. CrimeCod also has a little newsletter that you can subscribe to. And I don't sell your info. I don't give it away to anybody. You can unsubscribe anytime. It's a cheap, meaning it's a free and easy way to support my efforts. Sometimes I send out an email or two a month. It's not tons. Also, I've been showing this a lot tonight. The Fish Tank is a group that we have on Facebook. We've got almost 3,200 members, I think, now. And so come on over there and join. I did see this, it looks like you got number 48 out of 50. I think we're probably getting down to the end of the 100K buttons, but we've always got something going on over on the Fish Tank. So please head on over there if you like to talk about true crime and look at these. There's so many awesome things of, pictures that people are contributing. Maddie is a case that I am obviously covering quite a bit. So please head on over to the Fish Tank. And let's see, I wanted to give you a heads up on what is going on. Tomorrow we are continuing on. So today we are right here. Tomorrow we'll go on to part 3. So the recording that we just listened to occurred on February 8th, 2022. Let's see if I have this up. Give me a second. So what we're going to start listening to tomorrow, it is another interview with Sabrina the same day, but about an hour later. I think this one finished up at 11:43. Oh yeah, so they started recording again about 20 minutes after that. And that is where she talks about seeing the video and so forth. So that is the one that we're going to be getting into tomorrow. So if you have not subscribed already, I invite you to do that. I want to real quick acknowledge everybody who offered some fan funding today. I really appreciate that. Looks like we have, where am I going? Right here. We have lots of new members. So glad to have new members. Thank you all for doing that. Thank you to Sandra for getting us started with the super chat. Tabitha, thank you very much for your super chat. And then Georgia for your super sticker. Thank you all for taking care of me so much. I deeply appreciate it. With that, I will bid you adieu until tomorrow, 7:30 p.m. right here, same bat time, same bat channel. Take care of yourselves until then. Good night. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you liked what you saw, please consider subscribing. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below.